Are you interested in getting started with investing, but you feel overwhelmed in knowing where to even start? Well, look, I got y'all, because in this video here, I'm gonna guide you through everything you need to know on how to start investing as a complete beginner. Next, I'm also gonna invest $1,000 of my own money into stocks to show you the exact process on how all of this is done. And let's begin. So why should you even care about investing at all? Well, there's two main reasons for this. Investing is one of the few ways where you can build true wealth over time. This is because when you're investing, you're generating passive income, which means you can make money in your sleep. Normally, to make money, as most of you guys should know, you need to trade time for money. You need to go to work, you need to clock in, and they pay you money for the hours that you submit. By doing something like investing, you're allowing your money to work for you. The second reason is that investing beats inflation. Inflation, simply put, is the fact that the value of the dollar continues to stay the same, but the cost of everything you buy goes up. For example, if a cup of bubble tea, I love bubble tea, as you guys know, costs $1 today, and the inflation right now is 3%. Next year, that same cup of bubble tea might cost you $1.03. But look, if you guys are saying,
Brian, it's only 3 cents, that's not gonna make a big difference.
Let me tell y'all, over time it does. Right now, a gallon of milk, especially if you get organic and then you go into like Mom's or Whole Foods, it can cost you a pretty penny, maybe $5 or $6. But back in the 1960s, a gallon of milk was only 49 cents. In the 1970s, a loaf of bread would only cost you 25 cents. Right now, a loaf of bread is about $2.50 or more. And in the 1980s, a gallon of gas was only $1.25, or today, the average cost of that is about $3. Inflation is one of those things where you're not gonna see an immediate impact, but it does add up over time and it compounds exponentially. Now, the importance of preserving your wealth through investing, look guys, it can't be overstated enough. Without a plan to grow and without a plan to protect your wealth, inflation is gonna eat away at your savings, and it's gonna make it a lot harder for you to achieve whatever financial goals you have, such as saving for retirement, funding your future children's education, or just even having enough money to buy yourself a decent house, or even just getting a decent looking car. So by investing, you could potentially earn returns that can keep pace or even outpace inflation, therefore helping you to preserve more wealth over time. So Brian, how does all of this investing stuff work? Well, let me take you through one example right here. One of my best trades that I've made was investing into a company called Academy Sports and Outdoors. This is literally just like a sports and outdoors shop where you can buy like lawn chairs, grills, basketballs, a little bit of apparel, things like that. I had actually invested into this company back in 2020 around the $15 to $16 price range. What's even cool is that this company pays me dividends for owning the stock every single month, and I've been able to hold it over the past few years and generate myself a return of over 260% back in unrealized gains. By the way, a dividend is kind of like how parents might give a kid an allowance every month to spend just for living under their household. Now, as another example, at the start of this year, I went ahead and bought Ethereum at around the $1,200 price level. I bought about $50,000 worth of Ethereum, and I was able to sell my bag, I think it was about right here, around the $2,100 mark. And since then, I was able to cash in at about $14,000 to $18,000 in real money back in my pocket. Now, I know I'm throwing a lot of figures at you, and I know a lot of this might seem impossible, but trust me guys, I grew up with very humble beginnings. I didn't come from a family that was well off, that was rich. I never had my own allowance or anything like that. Everything that I learned today and all the success that I've made came from my own work, and it's something that you guys can do too. So how does this all work? Well, when it comes to that stock and crypto that I just told you guys about, the price of those assets generally go up when there's more demand for the company stock or that crypto project, and others begin to buy in. Now, people could buy in for several amounts of reason. They could be buying in because a company performed well and it exceeded expectations, or if a new industry just broke through into some new AI revolving space and it's becoming even more popular, or say there's more use case, like when it comes to crypto and more people and businesses start using Ethereum for various purposes. The overall theme just comes down to the principle of supply and demand, where if there are more buyers than sellers in the market of whatever the asset is, the price will generally go up. Now, investing isn't just limited to non-tangible things, because I would say Academy Sport Outdoor stock and Ethereum stock, it's kind of non-tangible. Like I can't really, I can't really grab it. I can't throw it around. It's like digital, Well, here's some better examples. So I invested into a restaurant that I'm a co-owner of called Gyuzo, the first Japanese barbecue spot here in Rockville, Maryland. And after my initial investment, I'm able to get a check for owner's distribution every single quarter that can range to multiple thousands of dollars. Other examples, I bought several watches over the past few years, a handful of them being Rolexes, and these I treat as an investment. Whereas an example, the Submariner that I bought for my father is up over 44%, being worth around $13,000 in market value, where I initially purchased it for $9,100 at the AD. Now, those are two more tangible investments because if I buy a Rolex from an AD and then I sell it to someone else, boom, I can see the item, I can see the transaction happening. Now, there are plenty of other investments too. If you know what right cars to buy and you're able to flip it for a profit, you could consider those being an investment rather than a liability. Or say there are things like angel investments, where if you watch the show Shark Tank, you got Mark Cuban, Kevin O'Leary sitting up there investing into startup companies. This is more high risk. It's something I've done, but if you just meet the requirements, which means you have to be an accredited investor or you have over a $1 million net worth or you're making at least $250,000 a year, you could go ahead and invest into smaller stage companies. If those companies end up doing well, you'd be making way more money. So just think of the example. What if you invested into Airbnb where it was just two guys working out of their garage, or you invested into Uber when it was just a concept and they didn't have an app? Or what if you invested into Chipotle before they started to take off with their many franchises all over the country? If you gave any one of those guys, say even just $1,000 of your money and their valuation happens to go up, which it has, then you would be seeing an incredible return on your investment, where it's not just $1,000 you put in and you get $1,000 back, but that $1,000 you put into a high risk company could give you back at least $100,000 or even more back in return. So what does this all mean? Go out and buy as many Rolexes as possible. Try to find the next Chipotle. Try to ask the nearest business owner for them to take your money. It's not that. It's just the fact that if you're a beginner and you're just getting started out with not too much capital, there are plenty of ways to invest, but one of the best ways to get started today is to invest into the stock market. There are 4 reasons for this. Number 1, historically, stocks have generated higher returns than any other types of investments, such as bonds or real estate. Bonds will yield you some of the lowest returns. I mean, right now interest rates are kind of up, so bonds are not going to be as bad. But as an example, real estate too. If you invest into the wrong commercial property, you'd be lucky to get some of your money back, where if you buy into some other real estate, you may not even have the cash flow or the capital in order to see any type of return within the first few years, where within the stock market, if you're able to make the right trades, don't even need that much money. You can use something called leverage, which is borrowing someone else's money, take on some debt to put it into a stock, which I don't recommend for beginners, but it's something that you could do to make an outsized return. On top of stocks, I also believe cryptocurrencies are another viable asset that you could invest into, because these two things are very liquid, meaning if you buy a Rolex, you need to find a buyer. If you buy a, used car, you freshen it up and you try to flip it, you need to find a seller. When you're investing into stocks and crypto, the sellers are normally there. You usually don't have an issue trying to liquidate an asset. Now, the third reason is that historically, if you look at the lifetime charts of both the S&P 500 or even say something like Bitcoin, they have continued to go up significantly over time in value. Just like any other markets or assets, yes, bubbles pop, yes, markets crash, yes, markets correct, but if you look at the long-term horizon, you'll know that over time, it's still been performing fantastic. Now, the last reason why I prefer investing into stocks and crypto compared to other more tangible assets is just the fact that you're able to diversify your portfolio into many different types of investment spreads. You could be into the energy sector, the health sector. You can invest into precious metals, real estate. You could choose to invest into a basket or a collection of different stocks, which would be something like an ETF. It can also be pretty cost effective than investing in assets like watches or cars, which can also come with high transaction costs and ongoing maintenance expenses. So hopefully by now you guys have a better idea on why most people choose to invest into stocks and crypto rather than just investing into, one Rolex. It's also one of the reasons why my stock and crypto portfolio will usually be a lot bigger than some of my other investments. So before I start investing $1,000 of my own money into the stock market and I show you exactly how you guys can pick up some free stocks, let me explain to you exactly what stocks are and what shares are, because you're going to hear that term quite often. When someone buys a share, they become a part are owner of the company, and companies issue shares to raise money to grow their business, and people buy shares in hopes of making a profit or getting rewarded as an owner. When investing into stocks as a complete beginner, you have a few choices, but you need to know the principle of risk versus reward before we explore what those are. So as an example, you could buy into a single company stock with a small market cap that has a possibility of generating 200% returns, but you could also lose your money. On the other hand, you could invest into something a bit more safer, like an index fund, which is a type of investment that makes up of many different stocks into one. Just think of it like a basket that holds a whole bunch of different fruit, and each fruit is a different company. The whole goal and the purpose of an index fund is to match the performance of a certain market or a sector, and it's also help you diversify instead of doing research on 50 different stocks, investing in all of them, where you can invest into a whole basket all at once. Now, another very popular way to conservatively invest into the stock market is by checking out the S&P 500. The S&P 500 tracks the performance of 500 of the largest companies in the US, and the well-known companies that includes, it's like Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, and the S&P 500 has been used as a general benchmark to compare the performance of other stocks or funds to it. And the S&P 500, it includes a lot of things: tech, customer goods, healthcare, you name it. With this, you're getting an exposure to a diverse range of companies similar to an index fund, which helps you reduce your risk of losing money. Going back into the whole principle of risk versus reward, if there's less risk, there's generally going to be less reward, but if you risk more money, you're going to see a bit more of a higher return. When's the right time to actually start investing? Well, they'll say that the best time to invest was yesterday, but the second best time to invest is now. This is because investing is a long-term process, ladies and gents, and the sooner you start, the more time you have to grow your money. There are also 3 reasons why you would want to start right now. Reason number 1 is the idea of compound interest. When you invest your money, it can earn interest and grow over time, and the longer you leave your money invested, the more time it has to grow, and the more interest you can earn, the more money you're going to make. Now, investing also involves some level of risk, and the earlier you start, the more time you have to ride out any market fluctuations and recover from any losses. As you get older, your risk tolerance may decrease, and it might make it more challenging to recover from any losses. By investing earlier too, you focus on the principle of time in the market versus timing the market. So how much money should you have in order to get started? Well, let me tell you, back in my good old community college days, I had maybe $1,000 to my name, or even less than that, guys, but I decided to invest a couple $100s at the time, and it still worked out really great. This is because, you know, right now my portfolios have been able to hit multiple 6 figures, but it's also the fact that right now many brokerage firms have no minimum investment requirements, and they offer commission-free trading, which allows you to buy and sell stocks without paying a fee. Now, in me being a, finance YouTuber, I've used pretty much every robo-advisor and every new fintech app that exists within the space where they'll invest on your behalf and try to, outbeat that S&P 500 benchmark. Most of the time, they'll require a minimum of $1,000 to get started, but for the most part, I've seen other tools where you can still get started with less than $100. Now, this includes Acorn. Acorn has actually been phenomenal. It has made me a ton of great consistent gains even throughout the recent market crash. I've used Titan Invest. I think they also have a bit of a higher percentage fee that they would take out from you guys using that platform. And there are many other things that you guys can use. For me, Acorns has been the most consistent, even though some people don't like it just because it is too hands-off, but sometimes a lot of people are looking for more of a hands-off experience in just getting started with investing. If you guys want to check out Acorns, I have a link down below in the description as well for that. Generally, if you want to take control and you want to have access to the most amount of tools possible, I would say using an online brokerage is probably your best bet. Keep in mind, before the creation of online stock brokerages, an investor would normally have to call or visit a brokerage firm in order to place an order to buy or sell a stock. Nowadays, these online brokerages are completely free. You don't have to pay a single penny in order for you to get started, and all you have to do is link your bank account. The money will deposit in there, usually within 1 to 3 days, and from there, you can start investing into the market during the opening hours. Now, here's what I would recommend and what I would do if I was starting all over again. First of all, back in the day, Robinhood was around, so I used Robinhood in order to get started with my trades, but back then, there were no incentives for people to sign up and get started with free stocks. Nowadays, there are a lot more brokerages that exist now that weren't around a few years back, and in order to get you to be more allegiant to them, they're going to be giving you all of these welcome bonus promotions, which I think you can utilize in your favor. I know Webull right now, they're giving out 12 free fractional stocks at the time of filming this video. Moomoo is giving 15 free stocks and then additional 5 free stocks if you deposit $1,000 into their app and then you keep it within that app for like 60 days. It's a pretty good deal, especially if you know that you have $1,000, you're not doing anything with it, just put it in there, have it give you those free stocks. And if you don't like the platform for whatever reason, you could always just cash it out instantly. To get exclusive access to these links, if you know someone in real life who already owns one of these brokerages, hit them up so you guys can both get a referral bonus. But if you guys can't find one of those, you can always use my links down below in the description as well. To do this, fill out your information, and also don't get intimidated when it asks you for your social security address and also your personal address, because these are all the things that brokerages do right now, where right now there are know your consumer laws, KYC laws, and this is for the government to verify you're not like a kingpin, money laundering drug lord or anything. And by the way, if you are, you could still apply, and I don't think that they're gonna catch you anytime soon. After you sign up, pick up those free stocks. Something that I would do though, before even using your own money, is to start utilizing a paper trading feature. Now, a lot of these stock exchanges are gonna offer paper trading, and this is pretty much what it sounds like. You're trading with paper. This is not your own money. So you could say, as an example, you create a fresh new portfolio and try trading with that first. See if you're able to make money, or see if you're constantly losing money, and to see why that may be. But be sure to play around with the paper trading feature just so you don't risk your own money. And then when you get confident enough, move over into the actual money. And then from there, what I would personally do is to not even touch a lot of single individual stocks, but to look long-term and invest into index funds in the beginning. You're not going to be seeing huge returns. You're not going to be a multi-millionaire overnight, but this is one of the ways that you can continue to grow a good foundation of having a healthy portfolio, because statistically, most people will lose money in the market. They say it's like 80 to 90% of people, but you do not have to be within that percentile. You can be one of the people that continuously makes money, and that's by taking this more conservative and more safe approach. So let me show you guys how you can actually buy a stock. By the way, here's that paper trading account. I have $1 million of paper trading. I can always reset it too. It's so amazing. All right, I'm gonna go into ETFs. I see that the NASDAQ is down quite a bit today. SQQQ. I'm gonna open this bad boy up. In the last 5 days, they were down a significant amount. They're down in the last 1 year. They're down in the last 5 years. You know what? We're gonna avoid this one actually. I like the S&P 500. I like SPY. This is very consistent. So here's what I'll do. I could either buy, $500 of fractional shares with this, or if I go into shares, I can just buy 3 shares, which is equivalent to $1,257. I'm going to set this to buy. And normally, if I'm within the regular trading hours, then I would be able to do that. Now, here's the benefit of having many different exchanges and brokerages. I can just hop into another brokerage that might allow me to buy. So go into S&P 500. Maybe we'll go back into SPY, $419. Let's see if I can buy this here in the after hours. We'll buy 3 shares, review, swipe up. And it looks like on Robinhood, I was able to do that. I was able to buy 3 shares of SPY. I got a Discord and Patreon too, so normally I would make an update about any one of my purchases, but in this case, it's for the purpose of this video. So now that I've bought this asset, you'll see I'm actually up a little quarter right there instantly. If I wanted to, I could sell it right now for that amount. And if you keep doing this over and over again and you compound those profits, that's how people start making money from day trading. So ladies and gents, that right there is a full video on just how you can get started out in investing for complete beginners. If you did enjoy today's video, if you learned anything new, be sure to let me know down below in the comment section. Like always, be sure to check out the links down below if you want to get started. And I also have a Patreon group where it's meant for anyone who's getting started with their investing journey. And if you guys want to tag along, if you guys want to have the right support and get a better chance of joining a community focused around all of this for someone who's been doing it for the past 4 to 5 years, link is down below in the description as well. Follow me over on Twitter, on Instagram, share this with a friend, and be sure to like this video and comment down below one thing that you learned.